All right, let's talk about doing business in two absolute economic powerhouses, Brazil and India. If you want to succeed, you've got to understand their cultures. And we're going to break down exactly how to navigate their key differences to build some seriously strong professional relationships.
So let me ask you something. You're in a huge meeting, you're making your big pitch, and someone just cuts in and interrupts you. Is that person being disrespectful, or are they just really into what you're saying? Well, the answer completely changes depending on whether you're in Sao Paulo or Mumbai. And as you're about to see, getting that call wrong can literally make or break a deal.
To really get our heads around these differences, we need a way to frame them. And it all comes down to two key ideas, indulgence versus restraint. This framework, from the social psychologist Geert Hofstede, is the secret decoder ring for understanding the business cultures in both Brazil and India.
First up, let's talk about indulgence. And when we say indulgence, you should be thinking Brazil. An indulgent culture is one that basically says, hey, enjoying life is a good thing. It prioritizes personal happiness, taking time for leisure, and expressing your emotions freely. It's a place where the line between your work life and your personal life can get wonderfully blurry.
Now, on the complete other side of the spectrum, we have restraint. And this is where India comes in. A restrained culture operates on the belief that personal desires and impulses should be managed and controlled by social rules. It's not about being unhappy. It's about valuing things like duty, discipline, and long-term goals over just having fun in the moment.
And wow, this slide really tells the whole story, doesn't it? Brazil scores a 59 on the indulgence scale. It's a culture that leans right into enjoyment and personal freedom. Then you look at India, way down at 26, which points to a much more restrained culture. This huge gap is the source of so many potential cultural tripwires. Okay, so theory is great, but how does this actually show up at the office? Well, it fundamentally changes how people build relationships and how they view hierarchy. Let's take a look at what that really means in each country. In Brazil, here's the #1 rule you need to remember. Business is personal. They want to know who they're working with as a person, not just what your company's balance sheet looks like. So all that small talk at the beginning of a meeting, that's not just a warm-up. That is the business. Building that genuine, friendly connection is everything. Now, let's hop over to India, where structure and hierarchy are king. Relationships are still absolutely key, but they're built with a lot more formality, and it takes time. You always have to show respect for seniority. Decisions come from the top, so you've got to be patient. And here's a pro tip. Getting an introduction from a trusted mutual contact is like a golden ticket. It opens doors instantly. Now for the big one, communication styles. This is where those cultural differences we talked about, indulgence and restraint, become super obvious. It affects everything from how people talk to how they think about time itself. This table just lays it all out so perfectly. Brazilians are what we call multi-active. They're expressive, emotional, and they're totally comfortable interrupting each other. For them, it shows you're paying attention. Indians, on the other hand, are more multi-active, reactive. They'll listen very carefully for a long time before they jump in with a response. And notice the other things, too, like punctuality. A flexible approach to time in Brazil could be seen as unprofessional in India.
And you can really feel the difference in these images, can't you? On the left, you've got that vibrant, expressive energy of Brazil, where business is often just as fluid and lively. And on the right, you see the more formal, structured world of business in India. Both are total powerhouses, but they run on very different kinds of fuel. Okay, let's get super practical. How do you take all of this and actually use it in the most important place, the business meeting? Because, believe me, the rules of engagement are from two different planets. So let's go right back to that question about interruptions. In Brazil, if people are talking over you, it actually means they're excited and engaged with your idea. It's a huge positive sign. But in India, whoa. Interrupting, especially someone more senior than you, is seen as incredibly disrespectful. The expectation is that you will listen patiently until it's your turn to speak. Getting this one distinction right is absolutely vital. So for your meeting in Brazil, here's your game plan. Be warm, be personal, be dynamic. Kick things off with some real conversation. Keep your presentation short and to the point. Under 30 minutes is a good rule of thumb. And get ready to welcome those interruptions. It means you're doing a great job. Now, for your meeting in India, it's a different checklist. Show respect right away by greeting the most senior person first. Be prepared to listen more than you talk. Your body language is huge. Keep it open, no crossed arms.
And because communication can be very indirect, the most important step is to always follow up in writing to make sure everyone is crystal clear on the agreements. To bring this all home, let's put together a simple, actionable toolkit of the absolute must-know do's and don'ts for your body language and basic etiquette. So what should you do? In Brazil, lean into that warmth. A good handshake and direct eye contact are your friends. They build trust. In India, showing respect for tradition is huge. Using the namaste greeting is always a great move. And remember, the small details, like using your right hand to give or receive things, since the left is often considered unclean. Okay, and what should you not do? This is just as critical. In Brazil, don't back away if someone stands close to you. It can come off as cold. In India, be much more aware of personal space, especially between different genders. Don't hold long, intense eye contact with a senior person. It can be seen as a challenge. And be very careful with your feet and hands. Never point at someone with your feet or touch their head. And really, this quote just nails it. In both of these cultures where relationships are everything, your ability to connect with people and adapt socially can be so much more important than your technical skill or the details in your proposal. How you make people feel is what they'll remember.
So, we've seen how these deep cultural ideas of indulgence and restraint shape everything from a meeting agenda to a simple handshake. The real question now is, how are you going to use this knowledge to not just avoid mistakes, but to build deeper, more authentic, and ultimately more successful business relationships? Thanks for watching.